Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with more NBA news. Now, after watching the Timberwolves beat the Lakers and just through his whole career, not just from that one series, but Anthony Edwards is different. Ant-Man is what they call him. Ant-Man is just different. Just everything that makes him him. A lot of people say, well, he doesn't want to be a role model. He doesn't want to be in the spotlight. He doesn't say the right things. But that's what our leadership in this country is right now. This is what everybody wants. This is what everybody fawned over, right? So why can't we have that in sports? We have it for leadership in the country. Why can't we have that in sports? Because that's where everything is trending to now. Most of these artists aren't personable anymore. Most of these celebrities aren't. They're more secretive. They have a mystique around him, and Eminem kind of set that tone and set that way, set that path for people to do so because he was this mega star. But you rarely saw interviews of him. You rarely seen him behind the scenes. You rarely saw him at public places, at dinners and things like that. He mostly stayed to himself. And that's no different from what Ant-Man has been doing. But you can be a great star and still be out of the spotlight. You don't see Beyonce or Jay-Z out as much. You don't see who else your big stars. Taylor Swift, you see her out. It's mostly at the games supporting Travis Kelce and at concerts, but you don't really see her out like that. Most of the celebrities now, you don't see them out like that, and they don't want to be role models because today's society, there's so much exposure and so much backlash from things that you're under a microscope. So you're going to get these scrutinies anyway. But saying I don't want to be a role model kind of releases you from that tension of trying to be Mr. Perfect or being Mr. Nice Guy. So that kind of gives human size to you. But Ant-Man is just unapologetically himself. He shows you parts of his life, and that's what it is. No matter what he does off the court, he's an exceptional player on the court, both sides of the basketball. He can defend as well. He can score. So that's a unique combination. And that brings me to the conversation of, is Ant-Man the next Michael Jordan? Now, there's been a lot of people who they try to put in that category, whether it be Kobe, LeBron James, even to a lesser degree back in the day. They had Harold Miner and players like that. Even Len Bias, rest in peace, around when he was uh, being drafted out of college, they compared him to Michael Jordan as well. But can Ant-Man, truly be Michael Jordan? Now, when I say Michael Jordan, I don't mean from the impact, the cultural impact, because we know that Michael Jordan's cultural impact was unique. So with the Jordans that, after 30 years of him not playing anymore, he's still selling those shoes out. People still wearing those and they never seen him play or didn't even know who he was. They just buying the shoes because it was a brand name. It's a fashion statement. It's a status symbol, so to speak, in, especially in urban communities. So no one probably ever have that impact because he has the shoes and he had the smile and he had the tongue out and all this stuff, pause, just from cultural, what he meant. But I'm just talking about strictly on the court, being able to be that dog, which we know that he is, being able to be multiple time champion. Jordan had 6. Can he get to 4? Can he get to 5 like Kobe and Magic? Um, things like that. And I think from his ability, I believe he can. Um, Jordan was more buttoned up and more politically correct. We know Ant-Man is not that, but on the court, I believe, mentally he's pretty much everything that Jordan was. Now, Jordan was on another level mentally just because he would make up, petty beefs and, take slights, the slightest of slights and turn them into fuel. I don't think Ant-Man has that, but he does have that trolling ability that I believe Jordan probably would have had if social media was out back then. So there was a post with, I believe, Bronny. I don't know if it's true or not. It was a post of Bronny saying that he missed the beach. And then Ant-Man tweeted, I'm going to send you and your pops there early. So I found that kind of funny. So I believe Jordan would have had some of that trolling ability because he had that trolling ability in person, especially with like Scottie Pippen and other teammates that he had. But that mentality that Ant-Man had, most people wanted Jordan, I mean, not Jordan to have, but they wanted LeBron to have that same mentality that we felt LeBron lacked because we felt, LeBron was more Magic, but even Magic had that mentality. So I believe LeBron was, to another degree compared to another superstar, not, necessarily Magic or Jordan because they were different. And then Ant-Man also has that ability to jump out the gym like Jordan had. People were saying that Jordan had like a 50-inch vertical leap. We seen Ant-Man basically jump over people, dunk from crazy spots. Just his ability is crazy. He had leaping ability like Ja Morant has, but Ant-Man, knock on wood, has a lot more reliability than Ja Morant has because they have different builds. You know, Ant-Man is more solid. John Moran is more skinny and more slim. But he has the physical ability that Jordan had after, he kept losing to the Pistons. And once he started getting with Tim Grover and started lifting weights. So, Ant-Man has that physique already and that physicality. Jordan was a pure scorer and he was slim, similar to John Morant, and he got hurt, broke his foot early in his career. But after that, he had more durability. Now, the durability that Ant-Man had, knock on wood again, has been incredible, especially for somebody who gets off the ground like that. Having the intensity of a Russell Westbrook mixed with a Michael Jordan, having the mentality of Jordan of just to want to win at any cost. And, actually looks like he cares about the game and the results of it, not just about the money. Even though he's getting the money from Adidas, Sprite, and the contract he has in the NBA, he definitely is marketable as well. Despite him not want to be a role model or him not saying the right things, his game is so good that they still have to give him the brand deals and give him that recognition because he is that good. But he doesn't have that household name yet, like Jordan had early in his career, and I believe he will. But the NBA has not had the eyes that the NBA had back then when Jordan was playing. But I think that'll come along eventually once they get some more marketable names in the league. And after the Jordan era, after the LeBron era, I believe there will be a couple of years of them trying to rebuild. But I think that we'll get those superstars, especially with Wemby, and hoping that he can have that long career and then more players coming in behind them. But he just wants to compete. And man, just want to compete and just go home. He's not out like that either. But he even reached out to Michael Jordan about being double teamed because he was frustrated with those, and he got some good advice, I believe, from Jordan on those because he's attacking the double teams a lot different now, especially in that Lakers series. He was able to make the right passes, make the right moves, and just see right through the double team. So once he figures that out even more, he's going to be even more of close to Jordan because I don't think Ant-Man will rest on his laurels like a lot of these players once they get the money and, just kind of sit back in the cut. So he's one of those players that's going to go get it. So, and he, like I said, talked about the durability. He's played 72 games and 72 games or more in all 5 of his years playing in the NBA. So he wants it. He just doesn't rest games and takes out for rest. He's actually playing. Um, but he's very Jordan-esque, and I do believe ability-wise on the court, he could be the next Jordan. Of course, he has to work on efficiency on his shot a little bit more, but other than that, the jumping ability, the defensive tenacity, and I believe he was a better on-ball defender than Michael Jordan was early in his career, even though Jordan did win the Defensive Player of the Year. But I believe Ant-Man has the ability to be even better on defense and very comparable on offense as well. So tell me what your thoughts about this. As always, until next time, I'll see you next time.